Good morning. Today is a bittersweet day. I am closing the shop down. This is my last day in the shop. I will be picking up the last few items and then shutting off the power and turning in the keys. And I promised that I would give a shop tour of an empty shop before I left. But this is where it all started. Actually, it all started in my garage, and if you want to go even further back, my mother's garage, where I just started metal fabrication. If you want to go way, way back, it actually started in Mexico when I spent 3 months in Mexico with my family there. My uncle in Mexico is a welder and metal fabricator. He works on diesel pickups, and that's where I probably first started my first metalworking project. But since then, I've come a long ways, and I leased out this shop. I've been here for 4 years, and a lot's changed since then. A lot has happened. So I haven't had time to make a lot of videos. I do have several videos that I have in work. I just haven't had time to edit them. I may, whenever I get back to the house, I may do a little tour of all the upcoming videos that you could expect. So to include a new shop, I'm going to be doing a shop build to replace this one. I'm shutting this one down, and I'm basically cutting the power off on this shop, and later on this afternoon turning the temporary power on at my other shop so that we could start building it. So with that, let's go in and take a look. So this is a pretty rough location. It's in the heart of the ghetto, downtown Oklahoma City, but I can't say enough about my neighbors here. On this side is commercial property. There's a trenching company back over there. You can see all their equipment. And they've never given me any problems. The owner came over and talked to me, and they're really good people. And so this side's commercial. This guy over here, he's on commercial property, but he has a trailer home over there. He's been a really good neighbor. And then the two neighbors over here, they've always just watched out for my stuff. And this is off of 9th and Eastern, so right across from the Oklahoma City Old Paris Flea Market, just across the street there. And if you know Oklahoma City, you know this is a pretty rough area, and there have been several nights that I've been in here till 10, 11, 12 o'clock, even past that. So if I'm ever here that late, I would typically pull my vehicle in and shut the gates and then lock everything up, and then I just work on the inside. Once it gets dark, like I said, I've never had a problem, but once it gets dark, you just never know. There are a lot of sketchy people walking back and forth through here, but I've never had a problem. So in 4 years, I've never had one break-in. Actually, I did have a bike. It was a lowrider bike I had sitting in the back of the shop that got taken, but that was a pretty small loss. Other than that, nobody's ever broke in to try and steal any of my equipment. I don't know how much land this is, but it's been really valuable to park my trailers and just my trucks and just park equipment until I could get it in the shop. So that was really worked out well. And I got lucky on finding this spot. It's commercial, it's 3-phase power, and the rent wasn't too bad. And to be honest, I've talked to the landlord, but I've never even seen them in person. We just mailed the deposit. I think they're in Arkansas or Kansas or something like that. We mailed the deposit, and we just had a continual deposit going to him. He never gave us any problems, and I've talked to him about 3 times, and that's it. We didn't even do a walkthrough to close this up. I think he just trusts us. We've been good tenants, and we're just going to mail him the keys, and that's it. It's a done deal. So let's go in and take a quick look. Now this building is pretty rough. It is nothing much more than the tin and the pipe that it's built in. This is the makeshift office that they built before I moved in, and we did get an alarm system put on it. That's pretty much the only thing we did to this building. And then you can see that they didn't install this stuff right. Some of it's falling off and falling down. Here's where the toilet would be if they had one. So there is no toilet in here. There is no running water. Basically, it's just a building and electricity. They do have water, but when we turned it on, there was a leak in it, and it ran our bill up to like $500. So we just had to shut it off. So I had water for a while, but we ended up having to cut it off. And that's really why I don't really invite people over. A couple of reasons. One is because it's just not very habitable. Like I said, there's no toilet, there's no water, there's barely electricity, and it gets really, really hot in here. I mean, this place is like an oven. So anybody that wants to come and just kind of visit or talk or whatever, there are some people, I can take the heat okay, I guess. I can work in the heat. I'd rather work in the heat than in the cold. But there are some people that just can't handle it. So that's why I don't really invite people over. Also, you got some pretty dangerous equipment you can get hurt on if you don't really know what you're doing. So let's take a walk around. Here's a no smoking sign. So this was here whenever I moved in. It was a paint and body shop that was here before me. So they have this sign here, and then they have a vent back here, and then another air vent or fan back over here. See that hole back up there? They had a fan in there. So this was kind of a makeshift auto body paint body workshop. I have my flight line sign here. This is from the Oklahoma Air National Guard base, and I don't know if they actually changed the street names or if they just updated them. I'll have to go back and take a look. But me and my buddy Nick Burnett caught these guys when they were taking all the signs down, and so we were able to get a couple of those old ones, which is pretty cool. And then on the back side, oh, they both say Flightline on them. And then these are all the power outlets that I would work. These are all three-phase. These are all three-phase power outlets, and this is really how I learned about three-phase. I didn't know anything about three-phase before moving into this building, but I knew that most big machines are made to run on three-phase power, and this is how I learned. I did a lot of reading, a lot of research, and sometimes it was kind of scary to pull some of this stuff, but I've wired every machine that I have, and I've wired everything, every welder that I've had. I'm going to be wiring my own shop. Yesterday I wired my own power, my own temporary power or external power, so that I could start building the new shop. And so that was really valuable too, just to have access to three-phase, just so that I could force myself to have to learn it. Have a couple pieces of metal left to pick up. The guys before me built this little driveway thing here. I never really used it. It's kind of a crappy job. You can see they sunk some trailer ramps in there to give it some traction. And then these doors slide, and I I kind of like these doors. In my new shop, I'm going to build something similar. I think they're going to slide, but they're going to look a lot better. I just don't know how I'm going to seal them yet, so I'm still working on that. But I do like the sliding doors. I think I'm going to have two big doors, two on the a big set of doors on the front and a big set of doors on the back. And I think the front ones, I will build them to where they slide open, and I think the back ones I'll build them to open up like a regular door. But I'm still thinking on that. I'll show you the bathroom real quick. You can see this tree or weed is pretty fertile, and so that's the shop bathroom there, just in case anybody ever needed to go. When I built my my gantry hoist up there, I just tied I don't know what you call it, like a ball bearing or a ring or a trolley, I guess is what you would call it. And I used the winch, and we just lifted off that top beam, off that top corner there. And using a winch, I lifted the I-beam all the way from the floor, all the way up to the ceiling so that we could mount the legs in. So we just took that down, and it was a pain. I really don't know how we got it up there, but we made it work. Here's my busted ass back door. The handle fell off of it a while back, but to open it, you gotta pull this little lever back and then unlock it here. So it's been fine. And then here's this craziness. So let's see here. This is where the three-phase power comes in, and I spent a lot of time just looking at this and just understanding how everything was routed. So let's see, the main power comes in from back there. You can see there's four. There's blue, orange, and then the red line, and then that neutral or the ground. So this is where the main power comes in, and I believe this is what they call 208 power. And then it breaks off, so you got three of those lines coming over here. So anything that runs off of three-phase power is running off of this box here. And you can see this was almost all like this when I moved in, so I really haven't done anything to it. It was pretty bad, but everything worked, so I didn't mess with it too much. I just tried to learn and understand how it was routed. And then there's two wires. See, there's that wire. Let's see, this one and this one way back in there, and then this is the neutral that run over to this box, and this is the 220 box or single phase box. And so anything like lights and 220 equipment would run off of this box. And then I actually did add this. This is a this is for my welder. I can't remember what these are called now. Power outlet, I guess. So that's the only thing I actually did mount for my welder. My welder is 220. My big welder is 220. I did get a little welder in yesterday. It's 220 or 110 or 125, and that's what I'm going to be using to build the other shop. All right, so that's it. That's the shop. This is the last day here in the shop. And I know a lot of people are probably confused on all the stuff that I'm involved in or that I do. But here in the shop, I ran two businesses. One is AIM Fabrication, which is metal fabrication. and we do pretty much anything that I think I'm capable of doing, I would do. And the other one is R3 Shelters, and that's shelter repair and shelter. We manufacture brand new shelter doors. In fact, I have one out here, an old one. So here is a shelter door that I've just been leaving outside. This was kind of a demo, but it's still a really good door. It's functional and it's powder coated. So the cool thing is it's really wear resistant. See that rust? I had a hammer sitting on here, and it just pretty much just wipes off, and it'll clean up. And it's made to endure the weather. And this will replace your existing storm shelter door, your old crappy wood one that's covered in tin or rotted out. You wouldn't believe how many of those are here in Oklahoma that are built way back in the day. And we do quite a bit of these because there's nobody else that wants to do them. They're all custom made. Every job is kind of unique, and sometimes you run into a problem. Most of them take me about 2 to 3 hours to install. I had one job where all the concrete was deteriorated, and it ended up taking me 2 days. So that's why most people don't want to mess with it. So AIM Fabrication, R3 Shelters, and then the last thing is my YouTube channel, Fabrication Nation. And really I just kind of do that for fun because I enjoy it. And whenever I get some free time, I make a video, I post a video. So I do have, like I said, I have more videos coming. Pretty soon I'll be able to get those edited and get those posted up. But everybody that supports me, thank you. Everybody that follows me, thank you. And stay tuned for more. Big things are happening. I've got a lot of big plans with the new shop. I'm gonna try and give you a tour of the new shop and let you know what some of those plans are. Maybe today, maybe later on this afternoon I can get to it. But I'm ready to move on to the next chapter. So it's time to cut the power, close the shop.